Hello and welcome to the Webcast for Tuesday, July 14th. I'm South Ops meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. It is a much sunnier morning in most of the region, though we do continue to hang on to some monsoonal cloud cover in some of the desert areas. But it's a far cry from the widespread cloudiness we saw yesterday, and these sunnier skies are going to bring us a warming trend today. Here's a look at the lightning map for the past 24 hours ending at 7 a.m. this morning. And yesterday really underwhelmed from a lightning perspective. Despite ample moisture and plenty of shower activity, the abundant cloud cover severely limited instability over most of the region, leading to a lot of shower activity but not much in the way of thunderstorms. This limited us to only about 80 strikes across the geographic area, primarily confined along and east of the Sierra Crest, with only a couple elsewhere. Despite the lack of thunderstorms, many areas did pick up at least some light measurable rainfall, so yesterday was solidly in the beneficial camp from a fire environment perspective. Strong high pressure remains centered well northeast of the Four Corners, with Southern California on its far western periphery. With little change in the big picture pattern, this will bring continued warm temperatures and an active monsoonal flow through the rest of this week. In terms of the thunderstorm potential, we're into a little bit more straightforward forecast for the next few days. Scattered thunderstorms are expected again this afternoon, but mainly just along and east of the Sierra Crest in central California and south and east of I-15 in Southern California. Wednesday will see only isolated storm activity in the same general areas as today. Thursday may see some renewed increase in storms, but still in the same general areas. These storms should remain on the wet side, and they'll also be occurring in areas with increasingly unreceptive fuels due to the repeated rounds of moisture. As a result, while a few new fire starts are possible, thunderstorms are not likely to be a major concern over the next few days. The bigger story in the short term will be the warming temperatures. Here's a look at today's forecast highs. Now that we've gotten rid of all the cloud cover from yesterday, we'll finally see temperatures reach their full potential, with upper 90s to low hundreds common in the valleys. As high pressure nudges a little closer to us, we'll kick things up another notch tomorrow, which will be the hottest day of the week in most areas. These numbers are probably a little too warm, but nonetheless it will be a very hot day, in some cases the hottest day of the year so far, especially in a lot of the high population areas. Another factor driving the heat is the overnight temperatures. Because of the added monsoonal moisture in the atmosphere, temperatures are not cooling off as well overnight, giving us a high launching point and increasing the risk of heat-related illness due to that lack of overnight relief. Minimum humidity will be mainly in the 15 to 30% range for the next few days, higher across the Sierra and potentially a little lower in and west of the San Joaquin Valley on Wednesday and Thursday. Some poor recovery areas are also possible in those same areas the next few nights. Winds will be light overall the next few days, though gusty and erratic outflow winds will be possible in the vicinity of any thunderstorms. In addition, some northwest to north breeziness is likely across the interior central coast through Thursday, though nothing too out of the ordinary. Substantial cooling will occur Friday and Saturday, with valley highs falling into the upper 80s and 90s and a more pronounced marine influence developing. There should then be little change in temperatures or RH into early next week, with winds also remaining light. And finally, the latest indications are that shower and thunderstorm activity will remain fairly limited and mainly confined to the deserts and the high Sierra from Friday through early next week. So while we do expect additional rounds of storms in those areas, lightning should not be a major concern overall. However, there are growing indications that more widespread thunderstorm activity will overspread the region mid to late next week as an easterly wave disturbance potentially approaches, so we'll be keeping a close eye on that. The hot, unstable, and fairly dry conditions will cause fire potential to increase over the next few days. For today, potential will remain somewhat tempered by yesterday's moisture and the light winds. But tomorrow and Thursday, we'll see some very active burning conditions, especially over the western half of the region, with large fire potential becoming elevated. Well-aligned starts will have significant fuel and topography-driven growth potential on those days. Significant fire potential will decrease from Friday into the weekend as temperatures cool and the marine influence expands, with the large fire probability falling back into the moderate category. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. Next one will be on Wednesday, July 15th.